Hey everyone, welcome back to On the Fence Movie Reviews. I am Adrian, joined by my co-host Rob and Daniel. And today we're going to be doing a spoiler review of The Batman. So guys, as I said, I am joined by Daniel, which we don't get any video, but we will hear his voice, and our resident Batman fanatic, Rob. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
Awesome. All right. So we already did like a non-spoiler review, so we won't waste too much time kind of talking about what the film is about. We're just going to give our general thoughts, but I want to just jump right into it. We'll talk about it right now. So Rob, what were your thoughts on The Batman?
You know what, Adrian? I loved it. I thought it was a phenomenal movie. I don't know if this is I really, I think we kind of talked about a little bit before, but I think this might be like one or two it's not my favorite Batman movie, but in my opinion, probably if it's not one, it's two best Batman movie, I guess, in my opinion.
It's high praise.
The Dark Knight obviously is, I'm still, The Dark Knight's not my favorite Batman movie, but I understand that it's probably the best Batman movie. But the Batman, it's right there with it. I really did enjoy
it.
This
I gotta stop real quick. I don't want to digress too much.
Oh, there he goes, interrupting.
What? No, wait, no, because you said it's not your favorite Batman movie, but what is? I just want to ask real quick. What is?
Oh, well, Batman Begins. I like the.
I will not argue with you on that one. So yeah, I was just curious. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, okay. No, I like the League of Shadows. I mean, I know it's another kind of origins of Batman, but I like the League of Shadows and Ra's and all that stuff. So yeah, Batman Begins. But I can separate my favorite and what I think is the best. So I don't think Batman Begins is the best Batman movie, but it is my favorite Batman movie.
Awesome. All right. Well, anyways, continue your thoughts.
No, I thought from the way, and I've been calling him this, everyone's been calling this, that's like Robert Pattinson. I think Pattinson did a good job as Batman. Now I know there's a lot of gripes and complaints as, oh, he's one note. You couldn't tell between Bruce Wayne and the Batman, but honestly, just watching the movie, and I think that was like a choice. That was a creative choice because he's in the second year of being Batman, and I don't think he's not a seasoned Batman, so I think he's still developing and still trying to this is how Bruce Wayne should act and this is how Batman should act. I think they're mixed together because he is, for the majority of this movie, he is Batman, and so I feel like he doesn't know how to separate it yet. So I think that was smart as far as like direction, is to go with how Bruce Wayne and Batman would act at this, kind of a period of, him being the Batman. So I really didn't, I heard the grumbling of, oh, well, he's one note, but I think it was a choice, not so much his acting ability. I think it was more a choice. So, but I think he did a great job. This entire movie, and you're gonna get it a lot from me. It just reminded me of the Arkham Batman games, which I actually really, really loved. Everything about it,
games.
Yeah, yes, they are. Everything about this movie, you get caught, kind of, at least for me, just even with the Riddler, maybe not as super eccentric as the Riddler in the video games, but just when the Riddler would talk and the way he spoke and his format of speaking, I was like, this reminds me of the way the Riddler would talk to Batman in the video game, just kind of repeating himself, and just certain the way he would say certain things. And I was just like, okay, like I think they drew very heavily from the video game. Also, other graphic novels, but overall, and the score, like when you hear that, like that dun, like when Batman would show up,
Yeah.
and you weren't getting like the entire score at once, and you would just get like this dun. It was just like, what the heck? That's amazing. But just man, like what's her name? Zoe
Zoe
Kravitz.
Kravitz.
Honestly, I think she did an amazing job as Catwoman, but their chemistry together, I think, was probably, I think, closest to the animated series Selena and Batman, Catwoman and Batman. I think
Okay.
that their relationship was very similar to that animated series, and they worked really well together in this movie. And I gotta say, was it is it it's Jeffrey Wright, right? Who was
Yeah. Gordon.
Gordon. I've been a big fan of Jeffrey Wright for years. I think he's a great actor.
Yeah, he
Um,
is.
but honestly, for part of this movie, I was loving him and Robert Pattinson as the Batman, Gordon and Batman working together, trying to solve cases and find clues and stuff. I thought like they did an amazing job. I feel like that wasn't in a lot of the reviews that I've watched. I don't think that was talked about enough of how awesome
Yeah,
those
that,
two
that, that
work
is true.
together.
Yeah, that is true. I think their chemistry was like excellent. That
Yes.
was um I wasn't fully sold. Now we have differing opinions, but I wasn't fully sold on the chemistry between Pattinson and Kravitz,
Okay.
but
Danny,
the
can you
Gordon,
can
but
you just turn his camera off and everything now, Danny? Can you just go
Yeah,
ahead and do that?
I can mute
yeah,
him.
we're gonna have some thoughts here.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Let's
But
go.
no,
Let's go.
but I agree with the chemistry, which I thought was excellent between Pattinson and Wright. I thought they were excellent. I really enjoyed their conversations that they had, the banter that they had, the back and forth. Um, even in that scene, which kind of plays out kind of comedically, is the scene where they have him in the prison, and he's like, "You got to punch me," and so then
Oh
he's like, he
yeah,
punches him and then takes
yeah.
off running and escapes from the thing. That is just excellent. I thought that was really really good. But I mean, there are some things that, like, again, as you're talking, like, there are some things where like I agree with, but I don't. But I appreciate your opinion. Let me defer to Daniel real quick because I want to get you jumping in right now, and let's hear what your thoughts are on overall on the Batman, and we can go in a little bit deeper.
I sort of share similar thoughts with Rob. Actually, yeah, I really love this movie. I thought it was great. That's not to say that there was no flaws with the movie. There's definitely are some flaws,
Yeah.
but I don't know, man. Like this is a movie that I've been wanting for a long time, and it does deliver that. And I do feel like what Rob said with the Catwoman and Batman. I do feel there is like some good chemistry there. At the beginning, I felt like I don't know, I don't know if this is gonna work. But actually, as the movie goes on, you get like the chemistry does start to build, and then the chemistry between Batman and Commissioner Gordon was also really good. I did like the score, honestly. Um, this might offend some people, but I think it might be my new favorite Batman soundtrack. Um, it
Yeah.
does, it does.
Please
It does what?
dismiss yourself from this chat right now. I'm gonna fight you on that. I mean, I don't
it's
know.
it's
It's good. It's
it's
good, but
on.
like I don't know. I'm
No,
not ready to crown it.
no, Adrian, it's not good. It's great. So,
Um,
um,
all
I
right. Well,
think, like
whatever.
I said, like I think it might be my new favorite score. I know Hans Zimmer. That's everyone's favorite. The Dark Knight. Especially that beginning opening
Actually, Danny
scene.
Elfman is probably the best.
I mean, he's great too. I mean, Batman definitely. They know to pick the best. What do you call it? Composers
I mean,
for
you
those
actually
movies.
hear some. I almost feels like Michael Giacchino's score in here in the Batman theme. If you listen to it, there's parts where it almost sounds like he's giving a nod to the Elfman score. I can't remember how it plays out exactly, but if you listen to it, I think you'll kind of hear it if you're listening for it. But yeah, anyway, like I said, it's a good score. I'm not ready to crown it as the best, but
Yeah.
obviously you feel that way. So
So everyone, we have Hatrian over here. This is Hatrian. He's just joined us.
I have
yeah.
to be the voice of reason here because I can't just jump in here and say I love something like the way it seems like the masses are doing
And
right
anyways, Danny, what else did you have to say,
Um,
Danny?
I do. Um, hold on. Give me a second. My son's over here playing with my stuff. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the cinematography. The cinematography I thought was actually really good. Um, the car chase scene, I thought that was pretty
Oh,
awesome.
dude, that was awesome.
Yeah, yeah. It the way it was shot, it
it
was really
was
different. It was really different. Like it was something that we haven't seen like in a
I
car.
saw it. I liked it, but at the same
Oh my
time, I
god.
wish there was no. See, okay, because here's my problem. It was like there's points where it's like you can't even tell what's going on because it's so like such blurred action, and and that was like kind of a little off-putting to me. Like I wish there was a few more wide shots so you get a sense of what they're doing, but like it's a lot of like it's dark and the rain and it's just a lot of like cutting,
Well,
and that was kind of what was turning me off to it a little bit.
I think that's what they
I'm
were
not
going
saying it's
for.
terrible.
I
I'm just
think
saying
I think it
that's
was like it was that's what they're going for, especially the shots with the Batmobile. It's very like in your face and very like a muscular car, and I think that's what they were trying to go for when it came to those
I like the
shots.
Batmobile. I thought the Batmobile was really cool. Like I
Yeah,
really dug the design of that. I thought that was really awesome. The basically like a muscle car with like a jet engine on the back of it, which was really awesome.
yeah,
I really dug that.
and and another thing I want to talk about was Batman himself. I do I do think yeah he is a one note, but I pretty much what Rob was saying. I do believe that was what Matt Reeves was attending. That's what he was. That's what he was going for, and
Yeah.
that I mean, like yes, he's one note, but that's not a bad thing because he's basically Batman, and like the whole time, even when he is Bruce Wayne, kind of
Yeah,
like what you're
he's
saying, Rob.
Batman for pretty much like 95% of the film. Like I honestly think he's only Bruce Wayne for like two scenes in this whole movie.
Yeah, like the
And
funeral scene and
like I get it, but I don't know. It's like for me, and again, I hear what you guys are saying, and I'm and people that have been defending that. Um, a lot of what they're saying is like, well, you got to give it time. Watch in the next movie, you'll see more of that and stuff like that. That may be true, but at the same time, like as a filmmaker, you have to make it where like this is our movie and we have to differentiate the character and kind of like give him a little bit more depth there. And that's kind of where I was kind of taken back from it. It's like, okay, he's pretty much just Batman and his Bruce Wayne is like to me, I was just thinking like in this movie, like in this Gotham City, how would nobody be able to figure out he's Batman? It's like kind of obvious, right? Like he and especially with that very distinctive jawline. It looks exactly the same.
well, I mean, you could say
Um,
that with any Batman movie, especially
I
Ben Affleck. His
well Ben
chin. He has
Affleck,
a
yeah, him
prominent
too.
chin.
But
Um,
I
yeah,
think
or you
I
could say
I don't
that with
know.
I just didn't love it. I'm just
What
saying like I didn't love his Batman. I like even his Batman I thought was just kind of okay. I didn't love him as Batman. I
I
just
think no, like I yes, he's one note, but like I also think I mean like
yeah,
when
you think that was a choice. That
yes,
was
but
a
in
character
saying
choice.
I know it was a choice, but I'm trying to figure out how to say it. What he's one note, but the note that he's playing is awesome. Like it's great, like his acting. So I mean, like I thought
Yeah.
his acting was phenomenal as the role. Like
yeah,
uh
like there's I mean there's scenes where he's just staring and like you feel like the emotion and the like just there was one where it was in a crime scene and like he's just I think he's looking at someone or he's looking at like something in the crime scene and not saying a word, not saying anything, just like staring daggers in emotion. And it was just like
yeah,
like him as Batman was
it was
Yeah,
awesome.
but
It
how much is
it's
that
like
is
very
acting and how much
intimidating.
is that is just setting up of the camera and like the camera work? I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm just I wasn't fully sold on it. And again, maybe like by the next film, I will be. But
I just think I think that this is a Batman that we've never got before. This is a Batman who like
well,
okay,
and I
so
agree with that. It's definitely a little
like
different. Like
like
it's not.
we in like Batman Begins when Alfred's telling Bruce like that he this is what a billionaire playboy should be, and this is what if you're gonna live these two lives you need to do this, you need to do that. But in this movie we don't have that Alfred telling Bruce to like, oh, this is how a billionaire playboy should be. This is
Well, I mean,
he's just
yeah.
he is
Well,
learning.
speak.
He is learning to be Batman, and he does. I mean, he's learning. Not even so much learning. He's not learning. That's the thing is he just is Batman all the time, and he is Bruce Wayne, but he doesn't know how to separate the two, which is why I think that's a brilliant choice because we've never seen this Batman Bruce Wayne before, where it's like he doesn't know how to be one and the other. He just knows how to be one and hasn't learned how to yet. So I get what you're saying, like, oh, maybe in the next movie, but I honestly just think that was a brilliant choice. And I don't think it was accident. I don't think it was one note. I think he acted this way because he knew no other way to act than to be the Batman, because that is who he was. That is he when he's out as Bruce Wayne, he's doing Batman things. He's only in public as Bruce Wayne to accomplish a goal that Batman has, and he doesn't
Yeah.
know how to do anything different than what he's
Yeah.
doing. So I think that was just like a brilliant choice.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we like move
And
on
I'll
to
fight
other,
you, Adrian.
no, before we move on to like
We'll agree to disagree.
other portions of the movie. Although like we're talking about Batman and him being one note. Although like I thought he was great in this role. Like I do. Like I do feel like yes we should have got like more Bruce Wayne and expanding that character more.
Well, yeah, and speaking of Alfred, I think like he was only in like two scenes as well, and I think he was only in the two scenes that he plays Bruce Wayne, and he does kind of tell him like, hey, we got these shareholders coming to the house today because you're not meeting with them in the office like you're supposed to. um but I feel like that was a little bit disappointing is he's like way underutilized. Like he's only there for basically to get Batman mad and get bombed. But and I would have liked to have seen a little bit more because then you can see more complexity with because Alfred helps develop that character of Batman or Bruce Wayne, right? He's like the voice of reason. He's Batman's conscience, and so I would have loved to have seen a little bit more from him, but unfortunately we didn't get it.
Yeah, I agree. Like I feel like we didn't get enough Alfred in the movie, especially so like when that thing happens to Alfred, where he gets end up in the hospital. Like I felt like it didn't have like a really emotional impact that it should have that they're trying
Yeah.
to go after because like I just didn't
Well,
really.
they didn't establish that relationship really.
Yeah,
Like
like
it
I
just
really
kind
didn't. I
of.
really didn't care. Like I was like, I mean, obviously in the moment I'm like, oh no, like he's something really bad's about to happen to him. But like
Yeah, I
at
thought
the
he
same,
died.
yeah, at the same time, like if he did die, I wouldn't
Yeah.
have been like, oh, like I would
I,
have. It
I
wouldn't. I wouldn't
if he
feel
died, I would
emotional.
have walked out because you know what?
You can't
Alfred
kill
Pennyworth
Alfred.
is Alfred Pennyworth is the best. So
But what was dumb is like how that girl said like, oh, like I'm so sorry, like well, like she made it sound like he was dead, which I think was
yeah,
like the secretary or whatever. Like the way she was saying, I'm like, you don't say that if someone's still alive. You like you just be like, oh yeah, they're in the hospital.
yeah.
But
I'm
she
so
was like, oh,
sorry.
yeah, I'm so
I'm so
sorry.
sorry. He's alive.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but he made
Um,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I agree to some extent of what you guys are saying. I just there are things that like it just kind of I wasn't fully sold on, but yeah.
I hear you.
Anyway,
I hear you. I get it.
we want to move on. let's talk about the Riddler. Let's talk about what
Yeah,
your
let's
thoughts
talk
were
about it.
on the crime world and the Gotham underworld, which we see in this film, mainly the Riddler. They mention of Salvatore Maroni and Carmine Falcone and all of those characters. Rob, what were your thoughts on all of that?
I loved it. To me, this all the other movies, there's been a lot of Batman movies. All the other movies, I think they did not I guess show Gotham and its underworld as well as this movie did. Like I felt like just a lot of my knowledge of from the Gotham underworld and all that stuff is the comic books, and then also a lot from the animated series. Um, I honestly like just I was like, there's so many stories to tell, and I feel like they touched on a little. They gave you a little bit of everyone, and you really kind of also bringing in the politicians and stuff into with these criminals.
Yeah.
I think they did a phenomenal job of showing how corrupt Gotham really is and how few of Commissioner Gordon's there are that Batman can trust to work with. So I think they just out of all the movies, I think this movie showed the Gotham underworld and the crime lords and bosses. I think it showed them well, and it did it the best out of all the movies that I've seen that revolve around Gotham and Batman.
Yeah. Dan.
Yeah, I really like Paul Dano's depiction of Riddler. It's definitely something different. I feel like this, definitely different from the comic books or stuff that we've seen, on screen. Um, so that may bother some people, especially who are like, comic book, what do you call it, apologists. But like I feel like his portrayal does fit the role of Gotham in this world that Matt Reeves, created. And
Yeah.
I thought he did a really, really good job. I mean, it's probably one of his best since
Yeah.
There Will Be Blood, maybe. But like he was very, very. I don't know. I just feel like he always does kind of play those type of roles, like a very weird.
He plays like a little weirdo
Yeah.
because he does the same thing in Prisoners, like in
Oh
Daniel
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
Villeneuve's
yeah. That's
film.
right. That's right.
He's kind of like that little quiet sort of like but yeah, I agree with what you guys are saying. Like for me, this one was the way it played was like, all right, I get a sense of Gotham, and actually it reminded me of you get little notes of the Long Halloween in there,
yeah.
uh, as well as Hush, um, which is mainly a Riddler story, and actually like the look of the character as well. It kind of harkens back to that,
Yep.
and even a Zodiac, a Fincher film. So like you definitely get that feeling, definitely the way they shot it, the way they looked, and that's actually the thing I liked the most about this film was the setting, the feeling that you get from the crime and the underworld and all of that. That was my favorite thing about the film, was that. Now as far as the outfit and everything, I know people are like kind of like, well, actually, I kind of disagree with you, Daniel, because a lot of what I've seen has been nothing but praise for the look and the feel of Paul Dano's Riddler. Um, and I think had they done with like the derby and the question mark jacket, blazer, that really not would not have worked in this world. So what he did, I think, works perfectly for it.
Well,
Well,
I
yeah,
think
that's the.
they
Go
went
ahead.
more with like, I mean, the Hush vibe. I mean, like you said, like it's more, I could see Hush working as opposed to, the actual Riddler costume. So,
Yeah, and I think he even references like there's even a
yeah,
reference to Hush because
there's a
he's like
Hush
he keeps
reference.
he's like it says like Hush on there or whatever, and yeah, so yeah, definitely all of that is in there. So like obviously they did their homework and read up on a lot of the graphic novels here. But yeah, no, I thought it was perfect in the way
Just,
they played it.
Just a little note. We have about 8 minutes left, so I know Adrian, you can't see that.
No, I can't. I don't have
Yeah.
the thing in front of me.
I think we should talk about where this movie ranks and all. I know Rob kind
I
of
hinted at it.
touched on
I
it.
hinted at
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah. I think we should talk about where this movie ranks of all the
Man,
Batman
I have
movies.
to. Daniel, since Rob already gave his thoughts and you want to talk about it, let's hear where you put it.
Um, I I kind of like I'm sort of the same boat as Rob. I mean, like Batman Begins is definitely I feel like, well, at least for me, Batman Begins and The Dark Knight are like, the two top tier Batman movies. So this one, I'm gonna say this will be 3 on the list.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, Batman Begins is just like an amazing. Not only is it a good Batman origin story, it's just a good superhero comic book origin story, like in general, that
Yeah.
we've ever seen. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna say 3. It'll probably be the top. So top 5 right
Okay.
there. So yeah,
Top. Okay.
yeah.
So for me, it's a little bit more middling somewhere with the other Batman films.
How dare you?
Um, um, I would definitely. It's funny because I like The Dark Knight more, but I'm like Rob, where I'm willing to admit that Batman Begins is probably the better film. So it's weird to kind of say that, but like I don't know how that makes sense, but it does
No,
in my mind.
it does. It does, because you have your preference, but then you're willing to be
To admit that
open-minded and
something
be
is
that, yeah, something is
more
better.
or better made.
Yeah.
So like if I were to rank it, I would definitely put Dark Knight 1, Batman Begins 2, um, Mask of the Phantasm 3.
Oh, we're going throwing cartoons in here now?
Well, I'm talking about Batman films that have been released in
Okay.
theaters.
Okay.
Mask of the Phantasm was released in
Okay.
theaters.
Okay.
Um, and um, and we can also include the Lego Batman if we want to. um,
I mean,
which is actually a really great movie.
It's an awesome movie, I think.
It is an awesome movie.
But I would, and speaking of crime and underworld, it's almost like the same sort of story if you think about it. A Mask of the Phantasm. It's definitely about the crime families and how they're all getting knocked off one by one. And it also gives you a backstory of Batman year one, where he becomes Batman, and that whole love story that he has, and it's really well done. And I would say it's probably it's obviously, because I have it at 3, better than some of the other Batman films. And then I would probably put a tie between Dark Knight Rises and this one right here, the Batman. I don't know if I'm ready to pass up Dark Knight Rises, because for me it's about replayability, and I just really, I know it's not high for a lot of people, but I personally, I really enjoyed The Dark Knight Rises. And for me, there's a bunch of scenes that I would definitely go back to rewatch. Here on the Batman, I might not rewatch this that many times. Like I might watch it occasionally, but I don't see myself throwing this back on just to watch it for.
I think The Dark Knight Rises is slightly overrated. I know that's maybe
I don't think so, because I know a lot of people that say it's not very good. So like, I don't know. That's from what I've seen online. I hear a lot of people say it's not good.
I feel like the more I watch it, the more I less enjoy it. I mean, it's an enjoyable movie, but the less I enjoy
What's
it,
weird,
the more
because
I watch it.
I'm the opposite, because the more I watch it, the more I actually enjoy it. So I don't know.
I think the last act is actually pretty bad, but
no, I agree with you
Rob,
on that. The first 2 acts are amazing, but the last act is where it fails.
I just like to watch. I like to watch the Batman and Bane fight, the one in the
Oh,
sewer
yeah.
when
That's-
Bane breaks
honestly,
Batman. Like
honestly,
I'll watch it for that.
In all of the Batman films that I've seen, there is no fight scene that matches that, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's a top,
But
Yeah.
anyway, that's where I rank it, tied between those 2, and then after that I put Batman Returns, and then the original Batman with Michael Keaton,
And we don't
and
speak
then,
of
yeah.
Schumachers.
Those
Well,
would
that's
be
actually
Batman Forever, and
yeah.
then Batman and Robin.
Batman Robin's
Yeah,
actually my favorite one. So you know,
Shut up! No, it is not.
Okay,
All right,
we have
honestly,
Let's-
three.
that's one of my. You know, we all have those guilty pleasure movies. That's actually one
Yeah.
of my guilty pleasure movies.
I hear you.
I'm not gonna lie. I do watch it
when
every
you
once
have
in a
bat
while.
nipples, when you have bat nipples, and then the Batman credit card and bat skates, I mean, that's just
Yeah.
crazy stuff. You know what? And that was an intentional thing. If you look back on the history of it, because Batman Returns was so dark, they were like, well, we need to make it campy and bring it back for children. So that's what they
We
did.
also need to sell toys too.
But
So.
Yeah,
what's funny?
exactly. So-
It's pretty ironic because of that we got the Batman, the Christopher Nolan series.
Batman
because,
Begins, yeah.
You know.
But anyways, let's wrap this up
All
because I
right,
know we're running out of time.
Yeah, we got 2
Rob,
minutes.
any final words?
Well, let's just talk about the ending, Adrian, and the Riddler being in jail and his cell partner. Because
Me personally, I felt that was unnecessary.
okay,
I thought that
okay.
was like fan service because they wanted to get people excited for like, oh, there's
the
gonna be
next
another
one. Yeah. Okay.
And I don't think, and it actually kind of takes away from Paul Dano's moment of shining, I guess.
Yeah, I honestly, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Danny.
No, I 100% agree with Adrian. I actually hated it. I was like, that really bothered me. I was like, dude, I'm like, we've seen Joker so many times. Like, I feel like that was a studio decision rather than a Matt Reeves decision.
and then that guy is probably just some stand-in actor that they're gonna like probably not even actually have play the Joker. So
Yeah.
I think he is a big name. I'm not. I could be wrong, but I think he's like.
I didn't even look it up, to be honest with you.
But he's not even cast. Like, it doesn't even say Joker or anything like that. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it was fan service. I think it was like for us to get excited. I honestly wish it would have been another Batman villain, someone maybe not known, maybe like a the ventriloquist, or someone or along those
Hush.
lines that would be, or yeah. So
Riddler comes back as a Hush or whatever.
yeah. So I don't know. I think again, it was cool to be like, oh, another Joker, but at the same time, when I thought about it, I was just like, I wish they would have set it up for another villain or had another, even just not even to bring it to the next movie, just another villain in Arkham. So I don't know.
I would have been fine with it if it was an end credit scene. I would have like been okay with that. But like the fact that it was in the movie, I didn't like it. But yeah.
Yeah, it takes away from it.
We have less than a minute.
Anyway, guys, let's wrap this up. Comment down below and let us know what you thought of the Batman. Do you agree with Rob and Daniel? Do you agree with me? Do you guys hate me because I didn't love the film, or vice versa? Anyway, let's get that conversation rolling. Also, don't forget to click like, subscribe, and share with all of your friends, and follow us on Instagram at On the Fence Movie Reviews.
And remember, we will catch you on the fence.